One of the challenges of being a pastor is you're thinking about the church, you're praying about it, you're working on it all the time. It just never leaves your mind. It is who you, at least for me, it was who I was. It was everything, and I was always thinking about it. So you come with an idea to an elders meeting, and you've been thinking about it forever, and you present this idea that you know is like, this is a slam dunk. Everybody is going to celebrate this. Well, they haven't been thinking about it for 5 minutes. So you're asking a lot, and I came to the board. I had this, we were full. We had experienced some growth, and it was time to think about moving on. And I said, I've got great news. I have a buyer for the building. And I expected a celebration. And they all looked at me and basically told me to go sit in the corner. I mean, they weren't having any of it. And it was pretty explosive. It was basically me against the other 12 elders. And I sat there while the vice chairman of the board stepped up, and he said, well, let's talk about this. And he went elder by elder, and he said, now, what's your concern about this? And one of them said, well, we can't afford that. Another one said, well, where would we go? If we sell this, where are we going to meet? And where would we build a building? And it cost a lot of money, and the people won't subscribe to it. Years ago, they saddled us with debt when they voted something, and then they didn't support it. And there were all these different things. And then he turned it around and he went back after having listened to all 12 elders. And he said to each one, he said, well, now, you're concerned about the buy-in from the congregation. If we had $350,000 as a commitment offering to begin with, would that satisfy you? Well, that satisfied him. And then he said to the next person, he said, if we could buy this land that's a half a mile away, it's 50 acres, if we could buy that, and the elder immediately responded and said, yes, but they're asking $1.2 million for it. And he said, well, if we could buy it for $600,000, would that satisfy you? And well, he was pretty sure that wouldn't happen, so he said, yeah, that would satisfy him. And then he went to the next one and said, and if we agreed not to borrow money, but to raise all the money, we only build what we have cash and pledges for, would that satisfy you? And there was a list of pretty much 12 items, and one by one, he went down them. They said, where would we meet? And he said, you know, if we start from scratch, it'll take 3 years to build a building, to permit and everything else. He said, if we negotiate with this church that wants to buy us, and they give us 3 years to continue to meet, would that satisfy you? And at the end of that meeting, we had unanimity among the board. And I was invited back to the table from my seat in the corner. And it just really stuck with me, because that was such a tremendous moment of bringing unity to the moment among a board that was as fractured as probably ever in the life of the church. And that was just, it was a piece of artwork by this particular elder. It was quite remarkable.